Hey, everybody, welcome to Common Comic Covers, a special episode.
Mm.
And we're doing a deep dive today on Plastic Man and Jack Cole. Take it away, Andy.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeremy. So this is
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome.
this is a Plastic Man comic, and Jack Cole created Plastic Man. This, however, is not drawn by Jack Cole, but this is by Carmen Infantino and Mike. Where was that? Mike Esposito. And
Great pronunciation on that.
Yeah, thank you. It took me a second.
Esposito.
This was published in February of '68, and I found this comic book out in the wild and fell in love with it. I thought it was just such a cool cover, and I was like, I want to get this cover book in a nice grade, and it's black. It's all black cover. It's all difficult. So I was like, this is going to be a hard book to find.
We can't see the grade. What is the grade on that?
It's a 8.0. Sorry, I can tilt my camera up a little bit.
Sorry, everybody. Technical errors there.
Technical glitch, yes.
On the west side of the state. Sorry about that.
It's an 8.0. It's great. I'm very happy to have this in my collection. Initially, so then it's like, you find a character you kind of like, and then you look at when did he first appear? That was a long time ago. It was August of 1941, and Police Comics #1, and it was he was created by Jack Cole. He was in Police Comics until its 102nd issue, and then I think T-Man took over after that. So he was published in Police Comics until 1952. He also got his own title, Plastic Man, in December of 43 until November of 56. So he was in two magazines for a majority of that time. He was super popular. And then he went away for 10 years. Quality Comics stopped being a company, and they sold all their stuff to DC. DC then stopped publishing Plastic Man and almost all of the other titles. There were 4 titles that they kept publishing. Like Black Hawk was one, and it was like a romance book. It was and 3 other books I'd never heard of. And then in 10 years, literally 10 years after they purchased Quality Comics, they came out with Plastic Man #1 from 1966, and that's what this run is for. So it's just kind of a cool.
Is Jack Cole on this? That's Infantino on the cover, but did he write the scripts for this? Is he still associated with Plastic Man at this point?
No, Jack Cole passed away in 1958, so this is 10 years after his.
Gotcha.
And Jack Cole kind of moved away from doing Plastic Man earlier on. He started doing art for Playboy Magazine, and he started doing Playboy on number 5 and doing good girl art until his death.
Gotcha. The story of Jack Cole, 17 years old, jumped on his bike, Betsy, and headed for Los Angeles, and arrived 23 days later.
He rode his bike from...
That's the legend, that he rode his bike from Newcastle, Pennsylvania to Los Angeles, California at the age of 17.
Wow.
What if that's true? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the story, though.
I read that he had married his high school sweetheart. I assumed that he did that in Pennsylvania, but maybe it was in Los Angeles. I don't know.
I'm sure it's out there on the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
I am just gonna go Jack Kerouac and picture him on his bike. It's kind of like Jack Kerouac / Forrest Gump for some reason in my head. I'm just picturing this guy riding his bike
cross country.
towards the west, looking for a seagull.
There's some mountains.
Now, I gotta think no, I'm just gonna keep going. He was in his bike. It's crazy. This is the days before multiple gears, probably. Anyway,
one big wheel.
Unicycle? So
I mean like two little, like a tricycle, or like the one.
Yeah. I don't know what those are called, but it's like from the 1910s. Or
yeah, it's way early bicycles.
Now, you don't have any Jack Cole Plastic Man, do you?
No, I don't. I wish I did.
So tell me why you don't talk about Plastic Man a ton. You talk about David Mack. We've deep dive on David Mack, accidentally multiple times. Why Jack Cole and Plastic Man? You kind of said this cover, but what about Jack Cole and Plastic Man kind of gives you a dopamine hit?
Jack Cole's art, especially his early stuff, like you look at Plastic Man #1 from 43 or something, is amazing. He's like, coming in and out of like a skull, and he's fighting. The
layouts are great. I have a reprint of a bunch of the early police comic Plastic Mans. It came out in the 70s.
Yes,
DC put it out. And it has the one from Police Comics #1 and some super early, and same with like Matt Baker. Like the art's cool, but the layouts are the things that just jump at me. Like, this is not just 9 boxes on a piece of paper.
Oh yeah.
And I think that jumped out at me about Jack Cole as well. That's cool.
Yeah,
what else did he do other than Plastic Man and then the Betsy and Me's and the Playboy run?
He did some stuff for Lev Gleason's publications before.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here's what the great thing is, viewers.
Yeah.
You can go onto mycomicbookshop.com right now and buy, I think, a 3.0, 5.0 maybe, Plastic Man #8 for, I think, $12.
Yeah.
Not graded, but it's affordable. And I mean, that cover is stinking cool.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, I look at it, and if you would have like told me that this was from the 1990s, like just with like, I'm looking at the dudes that are pulling Plastic Man. Like,
let's see.
Tell me that's not an Eric Larson looking guy right there, or a Jim Lee kind of guy right there.
The bubbles are funny too. Plastic Man was supposedly one of the first superhero that had like a sense of humor. But this is like Plastic Man says, "Yeah, I tell you, I'm not Plastic Man. I've never heard of him. What's a Plastic Man?" As he's been stretched and pulled by these guys. So
I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's it's a comic book. It's a little silly too.
So. Well, and I think we talked about Plastic Man before. He was a criminal. He was a gangster.
Yeah.
And then he was on the run, like on one of his gigs, and
Neil O'Brien.
Yeah. And he fell into a vat of like acid poisony kind of stuff.
Yeah, like the Joker.
Like the Joker, but turned into a rubbery dude. And I remember reading this in like the first run there. Like he would still go out, but then he would tell like the cops, or he would like prevent it. So he was still a gangster, but he was like faking it. So
yeah,
which is, I mean, that's kind of cutting edge in 1940, whatever.
Yeah, famously, the Elongated Man was a cheap knockoff of Plastic Man, in Flash 111, I think is his elongated man's first appearance. And it was like they didn't realize that they had Plastic Man. They owned Plastic Man. They could have just used Plastic Man, but they created Elongated Man. And then, like afterwards, I think it's maybe it's apocryphal or whatever that happened. But like it was, you could have just used Plastic Man. You didn't have to make up the Elongated Man. But
Jokes on them.
Yeah.
They didn't have the internet. Hey, Andy, I'm gonna go get on my bike and head your way. And
good.
Until
bring
next,
my books.
That's 2 episodes now. You've talked about them. They're fine. Okay, they're safe. Don't worry about them. Well, you're just gonna put them in a box.
Yeah, but it'll be my box.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to this deep dive of Plastic Man and Jack Cole. We're kind of we have a few of these lined up, we think, on some artists or writers that we like. But if there's someone you want us to deep dive on and we are interested, let us know. We'd be happy to do that. So anyway, for Common Comic Covers, I'm Jeremy.
I'm Andy. Zach, and his Ringo Starr says, peace, love, peace, love.
There it is. All right, buddy.